Well, hello. It's Steph stuck in a truck. I'm currently stuck in my RV, and I just wanted to do a live stream with my bestie nomadic hippie to talk about our internet solutions that we've been using out here on the road. Um, Me and my RV, him and his tractor trailer, and occasionally in his RV. So we wanted to discuss the good, the bad, and the ugly, if there is any good, bad, and ugly. And without further ado, I'm going to go ahead and bring up Nomadic Hippie. Well, hello, Sir Nomadic Hippie.
I'm live. I'm with
You're
you now.
you're
I'm, I
live.
was wa- I was watching. There's a delay. I'm watching you. I'm watching you. It's very enjoyable. You don't go live very often.
I know.
Hello.
Well, hello.
Oh, I'm
So
just
far, I
sitting
think
here.
it's just the two of us. No, I think we have another friend here with us.
You think I don't see anything? Who else? Who's there with you?
I don't know. I don't know who it is. It's there's four of
There's
us here now.
there's four people in here. Well,
I know.
once they start leaving
So
those messages,
So for about the same amount of time, we both came up with a new internet solution besides our visible phones that we've been using for well, I've only been using for about a year now. You've been using it for longer than that.
three
Visible,
three 3 months.
Visible was good for us for a long time in a lot of ways, but it wasn't always great, right?
Yeah, especially traveling around where there's no cell towers, there's no Wi-Fi.
Trying to upload videos in the middle of Iowa, stuff like that.
Even in Florida, there's a lot of dead spots.
Like the
Claremont,
Welcome Center. The Welcome
the
Center. Terrible.
Welcome Center, Claremont, Thousand Trails, Lake Panasoffkee. It gets
Claremont
frustrating.
Thousand Trails. That's what actually spurred me on to getting my internet home solution or mobile solution, um, because I spent 10 days in Claremont Thousand Trails, several like 3 months ago, something like that, and I had no internet at all unless I used my Google Fi phone, which was charging me uh, per megabyte. So it was terrible. I had to go. I was still doing my mobile remote job, so every day I was having to go into the rec center and hook up to their Wi-Fi just so I could do a few hours of my remote job. And so some of the folks there told me that T-Mobile was the only show in town at Claremont Thousand Trails. So I looked into the or I looked into T-Mobile, and what I found was that they have T-Mobile Home, and I watched a few videos about people who were using um, T-Mobile Home and trying it like away from home, because as you know, my home is always away from home. So I I thought about it, didn't do anything about it right then, and continued on using Visible. Got out of Claremont, got back to having some internet. But now I have something different.
What is it? What do you have? What are we pitting? What are we pitting this amazing Starlink system here against? What is the battle? What is this WWFE whatever battle going to be like between Starlink and
Well, I
what do
have
we
a T-Mobile Home. Here he is right here. Wait, come in, come in. There we go. This is my home unit. Sits right on the back of my
Ooh,
couch and
hold
plugs
on.
right
Does
into the power.
yours has a display? Mine doesn't. Mine just has a
You,
star thing.
you got ripped off. You don't get
Oh
a
wow.
display.
See, I don't care about speeds. I don't care about internet. I just like lights and digital displays. I don't care if it works.
I know you love lights.
So
So
chalk one up for T-Mobile. You got a display.
I got a display. So there's one point. So the reason I wound up getting it was because I was here at Three Flags not that long afterward, and I was parked next to some folks that have become really good friends of mine, actually, Billy and Dee Hendricks, and they have both. They have Starlink and T-Mobile Home, and they said that they were loving their T-Mobile Home actually a little bit more than Starlink just because of cost. And so we talked about it some more, and they helped me place my order because it is much like Starlink, only available at certain locations depending on how many users are out there using it. And so they helped me get an order placed. It was delivered to the next campground I went to, and I've been using it ever since. And so far, it's been pretty good. Not perfect, but pretty good. So let's
So
talk about your experience.
how many, hold on, how many campgrounds have you been to in the local area, and has the speed changed from campground to campground?
So far, I've only been to 3 with the T-Mobile home. I've been where I first got it delivered, which is Southern Palms in Eustis, Florida. Worked great out there. Actually had some of my best speeds that I've seen so far out in Eustis. And then I've had it here in Wildwood, Florida at Three Flags RV Resort. I think 3 times now I've had it here. And I've had it out in Clarebrook, close to Claremont and Groveland, twice now. And my speeds are pretty good out that way too. But here in Wildwood, this is the one place where they're the lowest, but it does fluctuate kind of just depending on the time of day and night and probably how many people are streaming TV and whatnot.
Well, if you're looking at the comments, Mission 1889, that is a secret person. Nobody knows who that is but me. I'm the only person that knows who Mission 1889 is. And really? I bet people can't even guess. I bet you can't guess. I bet Tommy Travels can't guess. Who do you think Mission 1889?
Hey, Tommy Travels, good to see you.
It's
Mission 1889.
Well, and it is.
Kowalski.
It's very good. Very good to see Mission 1889. Man, I could sure use some coffee right now. That's all I know. Mission 1889. That's a hint.
Well, I'm thinking does she have a second name?
Well, this Mission 1889's house was built in 1889, and another place that she's planning on buying, or this person is planning on buying, was also built in 1889.
I had a feeling we were talking about mansion, Mom. Hey, Lori, it's good to see you. Thanks for coming in. I knew we said coffee. It was you, Lori.
So, Starlink. So, like you, I've been looking for an internet solution. You were in the truck with me for over a year. You know that it's been hard out here living on Visible. Though Visible has been great. $25 a month, unlimited everything. Unlimited hotspot through Verizon, unlimited phone, text, whatever. The hotspot's what we got Visible for. $25 a month, you can't beat it. But it is limited to 5 gigs up and 5 gigs down. It's throttled to that, which is fine for Netflix, YouTube, uploading video, downloading videos. It's fine most of the time. But when you want to do live streams like this, it definitely is nice to be able to have those faster speeds, especially if you're going to use StreamYard Pro, which you're not, obviously, because you have a duck above me. But then you could do 1080p and everything else. And you don't want to do 1080p at 5 gigs up or down because it'll buffer too much. So, and then there's a lot of places across the country where you just have zero service. So my solution is not T-Mobile Home or Verizon Home, just because ground towers, the cell towers, a lot of places, they just don't exist. So I went with the satellite solution, Elon Musk's new baby. And it's so beautiful. Sometimes I don't even hook it up. Sometimes I just sit here and pet it like it's my meow meow.
Speak up.
But speak up. Meow,
yeah,
purr.
You're whispering to your baby over there isn't helping us.
She's such a doll. I haven't named her yet. Everybody calls it Dishy. I don't want Dishy. I want something. I'm leaving it up to my followers to name my Starlink.
I came up with a name for you and you didn't use it.
What was your name?
It was.
See, you can't even remember.
Well,
you can't remember.
It was about. It was Speedy Elandas.
Well, you didn't tell me that name, and I like something easy to spell. But Starlink has been
like
pretty
Speedy
amazing.
Gonzalez, only Speedy Along. Hello.
That's
Anyway,
that's my
it's
that
hard to
is
say.
my, looks like your camera is shutting off. What? My did not charge my camera. Hold on a second. My
Goodness gracious.
camera,
I thought you'd done this before.
I have. Hold on. God, this is gonna suck. Let's go to camera and pick a crappy camera, shall we?
I apologize, you guys. This hippie guy, this might be his first time he's ever done a live stream. I'm not sure. So, anyway, while we're waiting for Hippie to get his camera working again, I wanted to tell you a little bit more about what made my decision about T-Mobile Home. Most of us probably know a little bit about the cost of Starlink. It can be a little bit cost prohibitive for some of us, especially Starlink RV, I believe, is pricey up front. And it's a little pricey month to month. It's not bad for what you're getting, but it's a little pricey. And as you know, I'm sure all of you know, my financial situation isn't quite to the point where I can spend all of my money on internet. I have to use most of it on gas. So T-Mobile Home is $50 flat every month. You don't pay for the equipment because the equipment belongs to T-Mobile. So at the end of your time of using it, there's no contract. So if I decide tomorrow or if I decide in 2 years that I'm done using T-Mobile Home, I will be shipping my equipment back to them, and that ends the relationship. So I felt that was a really fair way to get more solid quality internet solution here in the RV, in everywhere, pretty much everywhere I go currently, without breaking the bank completely. $50 is still $50, but it's not terrible. So I purchased it. Well, I rented it, and basically all you do is you plug it in. There's like a quick start guide that's literally like 2 pages, and you sign onto the app. It brings things up, and you start connecting your devices, and it's good to go. Also, when I leave a campground and come to a new campground, all I do is plug in my RV. As soon as I have power to my RV, I have power to my modem, and my internet turns on. Everything connects again. So it is very easy, no setup time, no messing with it. I've rebooted it a couple of times just because I wasn't sure I was getting the full amount of speed that I wanted to get. And so far, only once have I thought that it was actually a rebooting situation. So today, though, my speeds are not excellent. So I'm going to bring Hippie back on.
Oh,
Here
yeah,
we
I
go.
had to switch cameras. I put a gimbal on, so I'm sorry. My camera overheated.
Oh,
Go
no.
figure. Oh, it's okay. That's as long as you can see. I got my fantastic idle cam going, widescreen.
So I
So
don't know if
so
you
yeah,
were listening, but I was
I
talking
was.
about the cost.
Cost. Yours is definitely more cost effective. Yours is $50 a month with taxes, everything. This here is the RV version of Starlink, which is $135, I want to say, a month. So it's kind of pricey, but the bonuses are I can pause service. So if I'm just in a spot and I don't feel like setting up, because it takes about 3 minutes for me to set up. If I just am too lazy, don't want to set up, I could just continue using Visible and only use it when I want to and only get billed when I want to, so I can hit on pause and start service again. It's all done within the app. So I do like that. It's a great feature. I
What
don't
was
have
your
to pay.
startup cost, though?
Startup cost was way more than yours. Yours is free. Mine, the unit was $600 for the unit. So T-Mobile wins for the win. T-Mobile wins. Um, you get a free month of service, and then the billing starts. Um, yeah, so it's definitely more expensive. I I would not order Starlink as a primary Wi-Fi hotspot. Definitely, it would be a secondary. It's great for secondary service, but the initial cost, it's crazy. Come to find out, this little unit right here and the dish costs $6,000 to produce. Yet Elon is selling it to us for $599. So they're taking a hit trying to get this out on the market, but it's worth it. The speeds have been amazing pretty much everywhere, unless there is blockage, trees, buildings, stuff like that. Um, you have to have a clear view of the sky. Where yours, it just continues working no matter what. As long as there's a cell tower, yours just works. So the cost, yours is definitely, it wins in monthly cost, and it wins in getting into the system because it's free. So definitely T-Mobile Home for the win on both of those.
Now, you don't have any contractual obligation either, though.
Nope, it's prepaid RV. Starlink RV is prepaid. You pay by the month. They take it right out. And if you want to pause service, you just open up the application. It has the word pause. You just hit pause. Your bill stops. You can stop it indefinite. You don't have. You could not use it for a year, and then you go, oh, I'm going camping. You can hit on pause, and the service fires right back up immediate. There's no delay. So that's what my bonus is. Like, let's say you're going on a trip to the Philippines, Steph, stuck in a truck, and
Wow.
you're
Who
going to
would
be
have
gone for
the
30
ability to do
days.
that?
It wouldn't be insane, but you do that, and you're getting ready to leave. You're gone in the Philippines for 30 days. When you come home, you still have a bill. I can pause my service, go to the Philippines for 6 months if I'm lucky enough. Come home, zero bills until I hit on pause, and then so that's a
Speaking
bonus.
of
Bonus for
speaking
Starlink.
of speaking of going to the Philippines and maybe not pausing your service, but you found out something the other day about travel internationally with Starlink. You want to talk about that?
Not really, but I will, just because you asked. Your T-Mobile home, let's say you do want to go to the Philippines. You can't take your T-Mobile home service with you. I can put my router and my dishy, I forget the name you already called it, my dishy, I could put it in a small backpack, take it to the Philippines, set it up real fast, just boom, 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 and I have high speed almost gig speeds in the Philippines. I could use it anywhere in the world. Whereas for a time, you were only allowed to use it in the continent. I could use it in Canada, the United States, Mexico, all the way down to Brazil. Anywhere in the Americas, I could use it. Now the whole world is opened up, so I can use it anywhere and take it with me, which is
That's
a big
pretty
bonus.
amazing. That's
It,
pretty
it, it really is when you think about it, right?
well, and especially because, that's one of the problems with international travel, as we've discussed over the last several months, is, what are you going to do when you get there so that you have an internet signal? What are you going to do with your phones? What are you going to do to connect your computer? There's options out there, but they're not always affordable. They're not always easy. So having the ability, especially if you are going on a long trip, to be able to take your dishy and hook right up to
That's
the
an easier
internet
name to
and,
spell.
hook your devices and everything to it.
That is. Um, I just like, I know that they got the Starlink, that the FCC is now allowing where you can use it while moving. But with my dish, it's just too big. You don't want to drive down the road at 70 miles an hour, having this thing mounted, worrying that something's going to happen. So I'm assuming soon they're going to come out with a much smaller one that mounts on your vehicles. But at the moment, you can hop in your RV as long as you got a power source. It's plugged into like an external battery pack or something. You can drive and keep yours running the whole time while you're driving. I can't.
Yeah.
You can do it in the truck, but with the Starlink system, but it's frowned upon. They kind of want you to wait until they want you to make a second purchase of a portable, which is probably going to be outrageously priced. So, but you got mobile internet if need be, where I'm stuck with mobile hotspot phone service for my obviously you've lived in here, you
Now,
know
I
what
do
that's
want to point out that T-Mobile Home is not intended for use in an RV or on the go. It is intended for home use. So I haven't seen a lot of, disclaimers about what happens if they think you're using it somewhere different or anything like that. But they did specifically ask me when I was ordering if I was ordering it to use at home. So that remains to be seen how that, if it continues to work. Hopefully, T-Mobile continues to strengthen that side of the network. I also, another thing that we talked about is prioritization. So my T-Mobile home, according to their website, says that I am deprioritized, which means if a T-Mobile phone user or many are in my area are using their service and it is bogging down the system, then I'm going to be basically in the back of the bus with my service while they're using theirs. Now, I think it's different for you. Is that right, Hippie?
No, it's exactly the same. Uh, since I get the crumbs because I am Starlink RV. So the way it works is businesses like cruise ships, airplanes, business, and regular brick and mortar businesses, they have Starlink for business, and it's like $5,000 a month or some crazy amount. They get the large chunk of data at the moment. Then comes the home user. The home user gets what the business isn't using, which is a big chunk also. And then I get the crumbs left over because we're RV. But it doesn't affect me everywhere, only in certain areas. Starlink is only available in certain areas because it's already, like in Orlando, the market's already saturated. So they're not selling any home units in Orlando. It's already at capacity until more satellites get shot up. And then it'll start releasing a little bit more. We'll get more data and stuff like that. So if I'm in Orlando, I may get 200, 200 gigs, 400 gigs up, and maybe like 110 down here where I'm at in Metropolis, Illinois at the moment, home of Superman, by the way. Uh, and then I come home to Wildwood, Florida, where right now it's already at capacity. I'm going to lose. I may get all the way down to 50 or 90 gigs. So I'm going to lose a couple hundred gigs just getting into a congested area. They do throttle you down. It's not necessarily throttling. It's just whatever when times are busy and everybody's home on a weekend watching Netflix, watching whatever data they're not using is what I'm getting, which is at 90 gigs. I'm still able to. I mean, if I had a 4K TV or a couple 4K TVs, I could still stream 4K content with no problem. Whereas your service, here's something else about your service and Verizon's. You get these high speeds, you'll get 200, you'll get 150. But if you try and watch Netflix 4K, if you do a speed test, it drops to 10 because Verizon and T-Mobile do not want you um, streaming 4K. So they'll throttle you down so you're only watching 1080p. And then once you turn that 4K video off on your TV, it automatically jumps back up to 200 speeds again. You can visually see them throttle you immediately, and it's pretty crazy that they do that. Where Starlink, there is no throttling, so I'm in a place where I'm only getting 90 gigabyte speeds, and I put on a 4K movie. I can do a speed test, and I'm still, it stays at 90 or 200 or whatever. It doesn't fluctuate at all, which I'm happy. It makes me want to go spend a couple $100 on a nice 4K TV for my truck. Damn Starlink. But
That's another thing to talk about is speed. So my T-Mobile home is supposed to be true 5G, but I definitely have speed fluctuations. I just did a speed test while we were streaming, and right now here in Wildwood, Florida, I'm getting 12 down and 5.3 up, which isn't really amazing. That's pretty DSL type of speeds. So that's not blowing my mind, but I do get better speeds sometimes. I had the other night in Claremont, I had 44.5 down and 30.4 up. I've had what I think I had my best speed test was like 100 and something, wasn't it?
yeah, it
100.
was up there.
It was like one of my very first speed tests when I was out in Eustis was very, very fast. I've got one right here from a couple weeks ago, 112 down, but only 3.6 up. So definitely there's some speed fluctuations on this end. Still accomplishes, oh, I have one for 297.4 down and 53.9 up. So,
I I don't know. I've been watching lots of videos lately about the speeds of either home gig, fiber compared to Starlink, compared to what you have, compared to what mobile phone hotspots, about the difference between uh, upload or download speeds. How come they're so high, and how come your upload speeds are so small? Because I can get 800 sometimes. I've had 800 uh, download speeds on Starlink RV, but I can have 800 down and 40 upload, or I can have 120 down and have 15 to 20 upload. Why there's such a variation, I don't understand. I don't know how hard it is to send data from your computer up to the internet as coming down, why it's so much faster coming down.
I don't
And
know. And I
but
used to work in the internet
Elon
industry
has
and I still
said,
don't know. It's,
well, yeah, Elon said that that they're going to try and make it even here once they get the lasers, because all the satellites are going to be connected, transferring data through lasers between satellites. So once that happens, which version 2 is going up now, which is the laser ones, that should bring our upload speeds comparable. So we'll just have to wait and see how that happens. But I think cell towers, that's a
well,
dying
and that's another
technology.
thing. That's another thing that's exciting, I think, about your Starlink versus T-Mobile Home, and that is T-Mobile has probably built their network as much as they're gonna. Really, they might still put up new towers here and there, probably more like replacing a tower here and there. But their network is probably pretty much their network at this point. But Starlink is still in its early stages of becoming a network. So the excitement that you must feel about how much more it's going to grow and become better is probably pretty good, I would think.
It is. I just worry. I mean, because it is a private company. It's Elon, so I'm worried. Is it going to be a fly by night thing? I don't know. I can't see it being fly by night when he's shooting the rocket up at least 3 times a day, putting like 50 satellites in the air, each launch, and he's doing 3 launches a day. Um, that's a lot of money to invest from him. So I can't see it being a fly by night process. I don't think he's just going to blow it off. And so yeah, I do look forward to the future. And if he really does have these dreams of flying to Mars and be able to communicate via satellites all the way from Earth to Mars, which is a goofy thing to think about, but he is laying the groundwork for it. And I am curious what it's going to be like in 10 years. What is Starlink going to be like? I don't know.
It
It's
could
going
be
to be
the
insane.
only internet we use by then, you know? It could be,
And the price is supposed to drop because he's selling these units at like a $2,500 loss. He's recouping it right now. He jacked the price up a little bit in monthly service to recoup some of these costs, but he is trying to make it to where it's cheap, high speed internet for desolate parts of the world that don't have a lot of money. So once these are up there, he's guaranteed he's going to lower the monthly cost. So we'll just have to see.
now, I have tried an experiment once. I wasn't really trying to experiment, but it turned out to be an experiment. And I don't know that you've had the opportunity to do something similar yet. But I was parked here at Three Flags Wildwood, I don't know, like a month ago. And I was hanging out with some girls that were in their own RV, a row of behind me, and about three RVs down. And I was hanging out with them. We were having a few drinks, sitting outside, just chatting, getting to know each other. And their sons, uh, one of their sons, were playing Oculus, but they were having a hard time with their internet connection. And I said, "Well, you can try mine. I see it on my phone right here." So I got into their Wi-Fi network and added my password for my Wi-Fi network, and they were able to play Oculus in their RV, a row behind me, 3 RVs down, which I don't know how many hundreds of feet that was or whatever, but they were able to use it and play for quite a ways away from my RV. Have you been able to do any of that kind of proximity type of testing yet?
I was thinking that yesterday. I was just outside of Madison, Wisconsin at a Quick Trip gas station, truck stop, the one with the tractor trailer that is a sign that's straight up and down. So I was in their parking lot and I needed some coffee, like I do now, Mission 1889. Um, so I just set up Starlink and I was getting ready to record the video, my last video about my prep for the Philippines. And I walked down to the truck stop to get some coffee. Walking back, I flipped open my phone and I was seeing if I was picking up signal about 300 yards away from my router. And the router is in the truck. I'm 300 yards away inside the truck stop, opening up the doors, walking out. And I was walking to see how far I could pick up my signal. And I got maybe 100 yards until I started picking up signal. And the closer I got, the stronger the signal got. Because I was thinking, why not make a little bit of money with this? I can have Nomadic Hippies Starlink service and sell and then so truck drivers are at the truck stop, they need some Wi-Fi, they can go to my PayPal, pay me $5, I activate it for their truck, they can just use my service. Because I don't know about yours, T-Mobile, I think I'm allowed like 50 devices connected to my Starlink. So I can make $5 here, $5 there, $5. And next thing you know,
I have
none
some
of
kind
these
of
services paid for.
astronomical number on mine.
It's all about the money. It's about the money.
I know. We should
These
probably.
Philippine trips do not pay for themselves.
I'm sure they don't. I know mine isn't paying for itself.
Well, while you're looking that up, let's look at some comments here. Tommy Travels just ordered some Mexican corn from his local Mexican restaurant. Yum. That has become my favorite food, Mexican street corn. Oh my God. Laurice saying hello to Miss Steph. Hello. And meow. Meow. It's not fly by night, Tommy says. It's also a step towards all of self-driving cars being able to communicate with each other. That is a good point, because once Starlink is up there, all the Teslas are going to be able to sing and dance, if you guys have seen my videos, all together in sync. Pretty cool.
So my T-Mobile home can have up to 64 devices connected at the same time.
64.
64 devices. Now, right now, on my T-Mobile home, I have, let me see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I only have 6 devices connected right this moment.
Sounds like you need to put a sign out front. Hey, need some fast internet?
Yeah, but it's not that fast right now. It's kind of slow right now, but it's working for this live stream, so that's important.
Yeah.
So we should probably start wrapping it up. We're already 34 minutes in, and I'm sure everyone here has other live streams to watch, or
Actually, BB3 is going to be going live here soon, and I believe Box Van D not too long after.
Yeah, so I'm sure everyone's got things to do. I moved this morning from Clearbrook here to Wildwood, sweated like an entire bucket of sweat out. And luckily, my friends Billy and Dee are here right now in Wildwood. They rescued me once again, as they have in the past, by helping me with my awning that was falling down and trapping my door shut. But also, they gave me a ride back to my Jeep in Clearbrook, so I didn't have to spend $90 on an Uber. So that was huge. I did buy them a little bit of gas, and hopefully that makes them feel good about that.
And they have a YouTube channel, don't they?
No, they have a Facebook channel. So, but they are very active on their Facebook channel. What? No, they do great stuff on their Facebook stuff. They really do. They do lots of nice videos at the different 1,000 trails and encore parks that they go to. And also when they go out, exploring and stuff, they do a lot of good stuff out there. So they're a really sweet couple. The Edel Campers have their own channel, and they do a lot of great videos also.
All right.
So
Well, I will see you later. You can go ahead and minimize me and kick me off, and I'll let you do your sign off. And thanks for asking
well,
me to pop in here
but
tonight. Everybody that's in
but
the
you're the
stream,
pretty one. You're the eye candy. I got to keep you up on the screen, don't I? You're the
I'm
eye
I'm the
candy.
meow I'm the meow candy. Meow.
Oh, is that what that is? Oh,
Yeah.
Tommy, the awning is totally screwed up, but it's taped up, and it started to fall down while I was driving. So I had to have it fixed again. So it's still taped up. I need to take it all the way off and throw it away, but it's like 25 feet long. And where do you throw a 25-foot long metal thing uh, away, you know? So I got to figure that out in the future here, so that I can just get rid of it completely so it's not an eyesore and it's not causing more problems. But that is a whole nother story. I really appreciate everyone coming to my live stream today. I know it was kind of quick notice. Me and Rick have been trying to collaborate on this for a while now, but we just haven't had the right time. With my job and his job, we're not really on sync schedules most of the time. So now we finally had a day that we could both try to get on this live stream and talk about it. Thank you for being on my live stream, Nomadic. Hopefully, other people will continue to watch this broadcast and find value in the pros and cons that we shared about T-Mobile Home versus Starlink. And honestly, I think ideally, if you've got the funds for it and you do a lot of internet usage, especially video usage, uploading, downloading, things like that, ideally you have both. You have a T-Mobile Home and you have a Starlink and you have Visible and I don't know how many other phone services you need, but it's not a perfect internet world yet, right? So once again, I appreciate you all. Thank you so much for coming to my channel and watching a live stream. And thank you for your support all the time. I really appreciate you all. Have a wonderful night.